This episode is being recorded out of Shoptalk Podcast Studios in Oak Park, Michigan. For more information, visit www.shoptalkpod.com.
Let me live out my dream. Let me live out, that's what I intended to be. If you doubt me, then I can probably see.
All right, check. Y'all tuned in to another episode of the LABL Podcast. I'm your host, Nametag Alexander. Make sure y'all go to the website, leadandbelegendary.net. Check out the music. Check out some of the services that we offer. Also, make sure you get some merch. I just threw some new hoodies up there, T-shirts. We got the hats now. People are asking about the hats. They will be coming soon. Actually, no, the hats you can order now online. We got a couple different colors coming soon. But anyway, we're going to get right into it. We got some special guests. Actually, before we get into this, if you hear my voice and it sounds real clear, crisp, smooth, it's because I'm here at Shoptalk Studios.
Yeah.
You know when you see the blue and black.
You know where you at.
So what better way to, introduce the podcast over to Shoptalk, you know what I mean, than having a special guest on here from the Shoptalk Podcast. Y'all can introduce yourselves so they can know how y'all get down with the intros.
Yo, what up, though? It's your man, Jay Johnson, a.k.a. the tinfoil hat titan, a.k.a. the conspiracy realist, a.k.a. the technology snob, Steve Jobs Jr. Don't text me with your green bubbles, a.k.a. I only debate my equals. Everybody else I teach. Also known as Juice, because all the hoes say J.U. Ice, Young Caesar, because you can't roam without me. Mr. If you don't like me, fight me. I got kicked out of Noah's Ark because they couldn't find another animal just like me. A.K.A. if you see me in the room with lions, Simba's dying. Come back 15 minutes later, I'll have dinner frying. I am the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. What up?
What up, though? And it's your man, Dame Going Wild. The West Side Landlord, the Pride of PA, High Chief Dame Don't Fuck Around, the Liquor Store Legend, the Corner Store Conquistador, your mama's favorite Dame, and the David Ruffin of the Shoptalk Podcast, because you know who the fuck they came to see. Not you, Otis. It's no better than these 4 letters. Thank God for Dame. Let's go.
Yeah, we're going to get right into it. Yeah, man, I had to let y'all do the intros, man.
It's only right. It's only right.
I'm sitting here like, this is my second time witnessing that shit. No, third, because I did the joint with the Connected Experience. We did the duo albums. Then I was on y'all's show, and this is the third time. So like, that shit is flawless, man.
It took a long time to get here. It took a long, and now we talking about changing them up.
Yeah, I got some new ones. I got to move and rotate in.
Yeah, and like you said, it took a long time. So like, talk about the beginning history of Shoptalk Studios, just in general, how it came about. I know you said,
Oh man, I still look at it like we still kind of in our infancy.
Yeah,
we've been in this current location going on a year now.
Well, no.
I'm saying in this current studio that we're in, going on a year now. But, I mean, I give all the credit to my partner. This is Jay's baby and his idea, man.
Man, so, we've been doing a podcast since June 2016.
Word.
And, so the studio is just like, this is a happenstance. Like, it wasn't planned out. We wasn't supposed to, open the studio and have, people recording out of here or whatever. We was recording at another podcast studio, $25 an hour, but we would do, hour and a half show, so $50 a week, $200 a month.
Exactly.
I'm like, man, and we only got this specific time that you can go. And I'm like, well, shit, for what we paying for that? I reached out to my homeboy Muddy. Him and Cool Breeze were doing radio on 88.1.
Dope.
They was paying like $35 a week.
Word.
To play their show. I'm like, well, look, let's go look for some office space. Me and my let's go look for some office space from what we pay a month. Like, I'm sure we can get just one room. We throw some. I already got the equipment and we can record. And it worked out. You know what I'm saying? Signed a lease, and I think this was around. I think it was around my birthday or whatever. Because at the birthday party,
it was like the first year.
Judy and Verge had said they wanted to start a podcast. So we started the studio in May, and then they was the first person.
First clients, yeah.
I'm like,
Unsavory. Shout out to them.
Yeah, and then more and more people. I think it was after Unsavory. I think it was the Slimmy Hoffa show.
Word.
And here's the story about the Slimmy show, right?
Shout out to the homie Slimmy, man.
Facts. I'm a private person, you know what I'm saying, and I could be paranoid sometimes. So like I got a
I think I remember this.
you know what I'm saying? I got like a random message and shit like, you know, to come up to the studio or you know what I'm saying, I want to record, and like I don't really just be knowing and shit, you know what I'm saying? So I had to like scope out the person. I think it was JUS hit me up and I ain't know him or whatever. I'm thinking like, how the fuck he find me and shit? And then I look, we had like one person in common. I didn't have a problem with nobody, but it was something brewing. I'm like, is niggas trying to set me up? You know what I'm saying?
Niggas had like a deep voice on the phone. Niggas at the studio right now.
Yeah, they trying to set us up for business.
You know what I'm saying? So I was fooling. So they came, man, they the homies and shit. And then TCE Pod, we had a couple, and that shit just blew and blew. And
Oh, so they were in the early stages.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Everybody
like them was like our first month here. We had like 2 or 3 people that was recording.
Shit. So the floodgates just open because you said it's about how many? Like 40 something now, ain't it?
Man, we've touched 55 different podcasts that came out of here. And so other than like the initial money I put up for the like the first lease, the you know, you got the pilot, whatever, like we didn't make rent every month. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
thank God. I remember when
it's in high demand. Everybody doing podcasts.
You know, it's a struggle. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you got extras, sometimes you don't. Yeah. But you know, we didn't pay rent. So.
I mean, it's a business. It's up and down. Every month ain't in the every month ain't in the black. I remember when Jay first signed the lease, I hit him up like, dog, maybe we jumping out the window. Like maybe we doing too much.
So, you know,
but I mean, he stepped out there on faith, and I mean, you know, God has sustained us month in, month out.
I tell you the biggest one. So you know, we were downstairs on the 3rd floor for our first year. You know, rent was very manageable, but like we had like a lot of people coming in and out, and it's really, when we think back, it was a small ass space. Yeah. It seemed big then, but like
it's just a room.
It was just a room. It's just a room. So I was looking for something bigger, and I had a particular price point I wanted to stay around. But it wasn't nothing available, and then the leasing lady, she showed me this spot, and which was more than I wanted to spend, and it was I was looking for 2 rooms, and this had 3 in a little lobby area, and she said we signed a long-term lease, we can kind of work out a deal or whatever, and I'm like, man, I don't know if I want to do it, but like I don't want to look back and this be the moment, like that'd have been perfect.
Missed it, right?
I stepped out on faith, man, and it was one of the best decisions I could have made, man. So
40 something. Well, you said 50 something now.
Yeah, rent still get paid. Yeah. Rent still get paid. So
now, one thing with you two is that, and one thing we all have in common is that we MCs when it come down to it. So talk about that transition from
still get busy.
You know what I'm saying?
Still get busy.
Oh yeah, what's the album you said? The
Westbound and Down, Kush Blunts and Clinic Trips. I'm cooking right now.
And people have said they heard some shit from you.
I can go.
I don't know. Now I don't know if I've been listening long enough for him to air it out or like play something on air. So I don't really.
We got something. We got something cooking though. We got something cooking.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. So like, talk about that transition though, because like I always say this to people. I think in many cases, like people that rap or used to rap, sometimes they scared to take that leap because it's like this all people know me for. Like my first time doing it, I was just like, well, fuck it. I like talking about music, just in media shit in general. I'm going to do a podcast, period. That's going to be my lane. But then there's some people, man, I don't know. I don't want to just know me to spit. And I don't think they're going to really accept me in that space. Like, talk about how y'all made that transition just to be like, you know, we could do this.
I'll be honest, for me, back in the day, I used to work in radio. I was on air, but it was at a gospel station. So I had like a little bit different comfortability behind the mic. But when we first started the podcast, I didn't want to do the shit. I'll be perfectly honest. Jay hit me up and was like, yo, because me and Jay, just to give a little more backstory, like I've known Jay since high school. Like he was a year younger than me. And not to say that like we didn't really hang with each other, but I would see him in the same circle. So I knew he was somebody that was cool. Then we ended up linking back together like we used to work together. And like on my lunch breaks or on, you know, breaks and shit, we kick it about battle rap, boxing, music, just
then we got put in we was in the same cube and shit.
Yeah. So I mean, we would just have those conversations all day. So like this is what we always talked about. So when he hit me up and said he wanted to start a podcast way before he did it.
Okay.
Whatever.
Good year and a half, 2 years. So
and I mean we would always talk, but it was just like whatever. I didn't even really kind of have a good grasp what it was. And then when I found, I said, nigga, this is radio with no music. So whatever. But then he hit me up like out the blue and said, hey, next week I got some equipment. We starting a podcast. I was like, all right, let's do it. So we did the first podcast. Was it at my house?
No, my first one was at my crib.
Yeah, we was just sitting in the living room just talking. We didn't really have like a strong format. And I'm thinking it's a one-time thing. This is my dog. I'm going to appease the situation. Then he hit me up like next week, like around Wednesday. So what you got for the second episode? I'm like, nigga, what?
No, we got to do it again.
Then Nina, we did the second at your crib, and Nina was on the second episode.
Yeah, Beyonce killed Prince.
Yeah.
And it just kept snowballing from there. And I mean, I'll be honest, in the beginning, when we weren't getting like a lot of listeners, I was just like, my heart wasn't really into it. But I don't want to say like Jay put the pressure on me, but like when you see your man's and his dedication and he reaching out, like I try and be a decent person or a decent friend to my friends. So like he was reaching out and I'm like, well shit, we started this together. Like let's see what's gonna happen. Yeah. Now them first couple months, I was like, man, this shit is not gonna fucking work.
I think because it's weird because like how you said, it wasn't getting a lot of listens, but also how you said podcasting was something that was like fresh to you, which it is to a lot of listeners to, still now. A lot of people are like, what's a podcast?
But I think I was trapped in that shit. Like people, you look for instant gratification.
Yeah.
You want to come out the gate and 100,000 motherfuckers listening to you. Well, don't nothing really catch on like that.
Right.
It's a working process. Now, when we go back and listen to some of them first episodes, like the audio, the subject matter, like the shit don't sound great.
Yeah.
But like that's our history. That's what we had to build upon.
Man, I think we really caught on and we really and it's unfortunate, but when we really started caught on and got like a lot of feedback, this was right around the time that unfortunately police was killing black people left and right. So we would talk about it on air and like I would just get crazy texts and feedback and Facebook posts and stuff like that. I'm like, I think we may be on to something.
Yeah, and that's all it kind of took just to get like the ball rolling down the mountain. Like again, you just can't jump into nothing and expect instant success, and that's kind of where I was jaded at.
I also think too, like just with podcasting in general, especially like with a podcast like y'all's, it's the topics that are covered and just the conversation period is a lot of people probably listening at work, and a lot of these people can't even tap into these conversations. So they might have these thoughts, but they at work like, I can't, especially if you're working in a cubicle or something, you're like, I want to talk, but I can't talk about that. We got to briefly discuss it at lunch, but here you have a podcast where it's like an hour, 2 hours. It's unlimited time, and they just going in on a subject that you've been wanting to speak about for a minute.
Yeah. And I think another thing that works for me and Jay is like, we not yes men to one another. You know what I'm saying? Jay can have his own independent and not be off on left field, and like he don't try and change what I'm thinking. I don't try and sway him one way. It's literally like being in the barbershop. It's somebody talking crazy and there's somebody with like a more sane and sound point of view. But I mean it worked. The dynamic between us two has been working.
I knew it when you disagreed and said that Donny Hathaway's "This Christmas."
I fucking hate Christmas music,
I said,
dog.
Dame is alone in this. I said, I don't.
Shake a hand, and throw that shit in the trash. I hate Christmas
but
music.
But then had me feeling the way it came Christmas time. I was like, dang, you right. Like Christmas songs really ain't that great.
No, man.
And I started listening to them
dog.
different. I was like, but that Donny Hathaway, man, you can't shit on that one, man.
No.
Donny Hathaway can sing. I just don't want to hear no Christmas music. I worked at the mall like when I was younger. So like I worked at the movie theater in the mall, and I worked at the 1 hour photo booth. They was like right next door to each other. And the mall at Christmas time, they just playing that loop all
shit.
motherfucking day.
They don't play black Christmas songs.
Nigga,
you worked at Fairlane, like it was Christmas songs. You be like, man, turn this shit off, because they start playing around like November.
Yeah.
But like,
I worked at Livonia Mall, and you're right. Like on the main speaker, it wasn't black music, but at the movie theater, I could hear from my other job.
Word.
It was black shit all day, and I got sick and fucking tired of Donny Hathaway. I knew it going an hour and a half once Donny Hathaway came back on, because it was just a continuous loop. I fucking hate it.
Mine's is that one. Even though they played a lot, and this is funny, Stevie Wonder's "Someday at Christmas."
And I hate Boys to Men. So any Boys to Men Christmas song, I'm not fucking with.
Stevie looking outside like, is it snowing yet?
That's how he wrote.
Stevie
that's
knows
why-
looking
that's why-
outside.
That's right.
That's why
Stevie.
someday at Christmas is so fire. Like you gotta see to write that shit. Somebody shout out to Keely Ferguson. She posted some shit with her and Stevie like playing. I wanted to. I said, no, I'm not going. I almost tagged y'all and I said, I'm gonna leave that
She
one
knows
alone.
the secret.
I
That means
said-
she knows the secret.
But she zoomed in on a couple of the periods. I said, now why did she zoom in? I
to
was
show
like,
us that
see? I
Stevie
said,
Stevie can Steve.
I said, I'm gonna leave that one alone. But speaking of just like winter festivities, like birthday. Well, y'all don't have y'all birthdays more so like weird.
No, mine in the winter, November 1st.
Man, so I know your pain. So mine's today. You know,
Happy
Shout
birthday,
out,
bro.
Birthday, my brother.
I'm 33. It's my Jesus year.
Okay.
You know,
How I feel.
You know what's interesting about birthdays? Like when I woke up, it almost feel like a rebirth in a sense. So I woke up, I was like, damn, I'm 33. I don't feel
You listen to
old.
Nas this morning?
I woke up
You
early
know
on my born
what's funny
day.
about
I
that?
always listen to that shit, dog.
But here's what's funny. It wasn't that one. It was one mic. I was one
Jesus
mic was
died.
playing in my head.
When you said 33, I literally, as soon as you
Immediately,
said,
that's what I went to.
when you said Jesus year, I literally started
Yeah.
rapping in my head. Jesus died at age 33.
The other night it was
33
playing in my
shots from
head.
Twin Glocks from 16 to
kept
piece.
playing in my head, had to listen. I said, I went to the video. I said, I gotta watch the one mic video. Then the next day I played it. I was like, man, that's so dope how you just broke that shit down. Nas, you know, one of the greatest. But I don't want to spark that debate.
Yeah,
I know
yeah, we're
y'all-
not.
you know,
Yeah.
I love Nas, man. I don't either like
we don't want to spark that
people
debate.
drag me into the rabbit hole, but I love Nas.
But I was talking about this the other day, and a couple of the homies was telling me like they already know I'm not really notorious for like celebrating my birthday. I'm not the one that's gonna just have a big old party or dinner where everybody come. We just sit at the table and eat and laugh. That's never really been me. Like I always get into my creative bag around my birthday. Like last year I recorded. The year before that I was in the studio. Even in high school, it came to my birthday. Yo, put me in the studio. Like here we are now. You know what I'm saying? It hasn't really changed. So a lot of people was asking what I'm doing, and I'm just like, I ain't really doing nothing. In fact, I was telling them I'm gonna record a podcast later. That's it. Yeah, that works for me. Like, what do y'all really? Is it a big thing for y'all, or is it just?
For birthdays for me, I really just want to be around my friends and family. The first time I've actually had a birthday party was when my 35th, when we did our first live show or whatever.
Yeah, such a good fucking
I had
time.
such a great time, but like I don't when you're younger, you know what I'm saying, it'd be like we'll go to a club or go to the White House or whatever the fuck,
Right.
Elysium at the time, and you get your little boost and shit, but like that was my first, all y'all came here for me, you know what I'm saying, and it was dope because I had some family who snuck in town and shit. But other than that, man, I just really want to be chilling with my friends and my family.
That's
dog.
where it's really at, man. Next
My
year,
homies get me together. Usually they just feed me drinks every year on my birthday until I throw up. Like that's the thing.
Happy birthday!
So we go to the club, niggas just feed me drinks until I throw up and shit.
look at me about to throw up right now.
Happened on it.
Yeah.
It happened at
Oh man, you got so drunk they almost put you out
Facts.
on your birthday.
yeah.
Wait, here? They almost put you out of here, or just,
No, we had a live podcast at Rosie O'Grady's.
Oh, okay.
And I mean, like, people really showed. Like, I didn't expect the outpouring that we had.
You been
but,
to
like, people
Rosie's?
showed the fuck
one
up.
time.
Like
Tell me,
when
it's
you-
one in Royal Oak, right? Yeah.
Ferndale. So like when you walk in, it's like to the right hand side, it's like a patio area, and it's a whole nother bar. So we had that whole bar area in the patio, and we packed that bitch out.
Man.
And
Nigga stayed all night.
yeah, and that was a like sometimes she'd be having with the podcast, and I'd just be like, dog, I don't think I should do this, but I step out on faith and do it anyway. Like, so I booked a room there, but I went there the day before to check it out, and it was like really small.
Word.
And I didn't know how big it was. So I was like, can we get the bigger room? They was like, yeah, but you gotta sell, you gotta cover
It's like $1,200 worth of drinks.
it was like $1,500. First it was like you gotta cover like $1,000 worth of food and beverage. I'm like, all right, cool. And I think I said it too fast. It was like $1,500. It was like 15 or 200. It was a lot.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But I'm like, well, I already got flyers out. People are coming here. I'm like, fine. I'm like, so what if I don't cover it? She was like, well, the rest of it just gonna go on your credit card.
Damn.
I'm like, all right, bet. So I gave my credit card information. I'm like, fuck it, we just gonna do. If I gotta pay to have a good time tonight on my birthday,
Right.
I'll do it.
Why
But Luckily, folks show. And then I started promoting heavy after that shit.
Every social
Started
media
promo-
platform.
Hey man,
Promoting heavy.
but
But
people showed up and showed out. We bought drinks all night long, ate good.
we did a live podcast. And I mean, I want to do another live podcast. You know what I'm saying?
We got to taper the drinking though,
Facts.
because by the last half hour was complete shit. It was just us slurring and talking crazy, and there's some audio that will never be released to the public.
That's the third time y'all mentioned that. I'm like, I want to hear it. Like,
It gets pretty.
released.
It'll be like a Me Too type of situation.
Oh,
One of us was saying some Me Too shit.
One, we're not gonna say
The
who.
drunker half. The
Whatever.
drunker half.
One of us was saying some shit.
For me, man, I celebrate my birthday. Like typically, I try and go out to dinner with my peoples. You know, get a steak. You know, get some drinks to celebrate. This year was a little bit milder because I went out and I lost my debit card my birthday weekend. So that kind of, I can't tell people to come out and
Right.
front me all the money until I get my shit back.
Come on, you got me right.
Because I didn't figure out I lost my debit card. Like my birthday November 1st, so Halloween is always like a big deal for me.
Yeah.
Like up until I probably turned 21, I was still trick or treating every week, every year for
Birthday
Halloween.
was the excuse.
Hey man, I don't give no fuck. It's free candy. And then I had kids,
Yeah.
which was an excuse to keep it going. But for some reason, I lost my debit card that Friday. I woke up Saturday, and it was already 3 in the afternoon. So I can't go to the bank.
Bank closed,
to-
right?
yeah, can't go get no money. So I'm like, I'm just fucked up till next week. So
Man, I will say one other thing about my birthday. Before my mom took ill, my mom would make me a chocolate cake on my birthday every year. Like
Word.
that was something I look forward to. A chocolate on chocolate cake, chocolate icing. You know what I'm saying? And she would call me in the morning and sing me happy birthday.
Man,
And that was
that's the thing.
So
yeah.
when my mother was alive, that's crazy. We had a different tradition. She would not acknowledge my birthday until around the time she actually went into labor.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
I could talk to her in the morning, but she ain't even on birthday
Man, it
shit.
was
Man.
she would call me happy birthday, son. This year at 9:03. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
She would do
I had
that.
to, and my mom had the whole spiel too.
Yeah.
I started feeling the rumbling about 2:30, but she'd never acknowledge it. But I could always guarantee, this is probably the first year I didn't have a birthday cake because I ain't really had nobody in my life like that. But every year I've always had a birthday cake.
My birthday cake came from work.
Yeah, so did mine. So did mine.
Shout out to my work
My
people.
employees.
My supervisor
employees
and I
chipped
shared
in.
the same birthday, so it was she was out of town, so I was like, well, that cake is mine. That cake is all mine.
It's not gonna make it till she
You can
get
get a
back.
couple pieces, but I'm gonna eat the rest.
Hey
of that
man,
shit,
let me
bro.
ask you something. All y'all, when the last time somebody polished off a whole birthday cake? Shit just don't happen.
It doesn't happen. I don't my own kid. I don't even buy her the full when she was one. Oh, that was the shit. Buying the sheet cake about
Yeah.
this big, and you realize that
You got to be at a party.
everybody ain't even eat
But
that
still,
shit.
even if
Carry it home.
everybody takes a piece, you still
It's
take your
there.
cake home.
Yeah.
And I don't care if you eat that shit 3 times a day for the next 3-4 days. You're not gonna make it through that whole
no,
cake.
Not at all. It's getting tossed.
It's crazy. You mentioned about your daughter. So I remember I got 2 girls, and my daughter's birthdays. Both of my girls' birthdays are in December. One is the 26th. One is the 29th. So Christmas fucks me over. Then that week, right? It's my fault. This guy's cruel joke when you had daughters. So they first birthday together. My oldest girl, who was 7 at the time, was like, "I want to celebrate my birthday with my sister." And I was like, well, it's her first birthday. You turning 7. Y'all sisters.
not?
I don't get no fuck. So I had their birthday party at Jungle Java and some shit I had never heard of, but they mamas figured out all I got to do is pay. So I'm getting ready for the birthday party and shit. My dad was like, well, what you going to do about the cakes? I said, I'm going to get one cake, put their name on it. He said, nah. He said, it's both their birthdays. You got to get 2
damn.
cakes. I got 2 big dumbass sheet cakes. And it's the same flavor on both of them, but everybody eating off of separate cakes. I took so much motherfucking cake home. I was like, never again.
Man, I did
Never
I did
again.
2 years in a row. Never again. I'm never
It's better
doing
to
this
have
shit again.
not enough cake than too much cake. That's how I feel. And I know that's not the normal thing, but no.
Well, do it on some limited
Like,
edition shit. Only so much cake
You
is
get the
available.
cake and then you get the rest of the slices to your best friends and everybody else it don't fucking matter.
Hey, man, at my daughter's birthday party, they're 7. My oldest girl turned 7. My baby girl turned a year. all they family from both sides came out. And like it was, this was the first time a lot of us like meeting each other. It was probably like one of the best days of my life, to seeing both my daughters like really enjoy that shit, and just having like, we kind of like took over a certain area, probably had damn near 100 guests, and seeing like the love for both my girls, man, I couldn't put a price tag on that shit, man. But I celebrate birthdays, and the biggest reason is because, nigga, I'm 37. I never in 100 years thought I'd live this long. Like, for real.
No, that's real.
I'm fortunate enough to see another year. Like, even if I just do something small, like, I'm going to celebrate that shit. Because I know I lost a lot of friends. A lot of my friends been shot, stabbed, and none of that shit happened to me. And, like, I've been in the thick of that shit with these niggas. Yeah. I'm fortunate to see another one, man. So I celebrate it.
No, that's real.
Man, Tag, man, to answer your question, because I forgot that you had asked a question about music and shit. We was talking about the transition, music and the podcasting. It's directly related. And it's wild because I had a music company, Black City Government. We was moving around tough through like 2004 to about 2010-ish or whatever. But back in 2005, we was trying to put some stuff on the radio. So we would go to we met with everybody trying to get shit on the radio, and we weren't able to get anything on the radio. So I went to Radio Shack and I bought some equipment, and like in my apartment on 8 Mile and Telegraph, was like, we gonna do our own radio show. So we went to blackcitygov.com, was the website. It's not there no more. But like we put songs on. I'm the first person to ever play One Blood on the radio. But like we put our own songs on there, major shit, local shit, and we had topics and conversations, and we called that shit Black City Radio. And we put that shit out, and we did that shit for a while. And like in real life, we would record it, I will upload it to the site. You can either play it or download it whenever you want it. In real life, it was a podcast before podcasts existed. Because we called it Black City Radio, but it wasn't live, and you had to.
Radio is like the thing that kind of grabbed people. Like, oh, okay, cool, you got a radio show. Yeah.
But then we moved around. Music was crazy. My mom was working at the radio station and shit, and so she took the CD, gave it to DDT. And he said he was listening to it for a while. Then he called me like, "Yo, I've been listening to this shit for for a minute. We want to bring y'all up to like what's next on the menu or whatever." You know what I'm saying? But after that shit died out, life happened. You know what I'm saying? And like a bunch of online radio stations that kind of like spawned for what we had started. Like family members of the people that was on it, and all this shit blew up. And like years later, I look back like, man, a lot of the Detroit online radio stations that was out here popping, like it literally came from an idea that happened in my living room, and like I missed out on that whole fucking wave.
Man.
So when the podcast shit started, when I Dame referenced, like we talked about it for a while before we did it, and like I'm like, I don't want to miss out on another fucking wave.
Jump on it while it's moving.
You know what I'm saying? I
should jump in front of it.
You know what I mean? So we started doing it, man, and the podcast scene in the metro area right now is a lot different than it was.
Yeah, exactly.
In early 2016,
it was a desert. It was a fucking desert.
Left and right nowadays,
But they come and go. And the thing about it that I think separates us, and even a lot of the podcasts that record out of here, is just consistency. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like it's anything that you want to get something out of, it's a grind.
Absolutely.
It's some like me and Jay and sacrificed our Fridays for 3 fucking years. We both single men. Friday is fucking prime time. But I mean, every Friday, like I ain't gotta call them. I know about 7:30, unless something really go awry with our schedules, we linking up, and we talk or text all week long, bounce ideas off each other, and we come in here and we try and spew it out for an hour.
Yeah, man.
So they're directly related, man. I knew I'd be tight behind this mic one way or another.
Exactly.
I get it out to people.
It all came back around at the end of the day.
It did.
And while we on the subject of music, I thought about this like before, off air we was listening to the whole, the Jay-Z record, and I thought about this with playlists. Most playlists, right? They're usually consistent of what? The jams, the hits.
Yeah.
Are there playlists, or do you have playlists where it just consists of the bars.
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
I tried to make one. I couldn't do it.
So, well, I'll bring you in. I'll tag you in.
Okay.
So one of my homegirls, Crystal, she is one of my favorite hip hop heads.
Okay.
She is like
Oh,
on it.
I know that Chris.
That Crystal. So I reached out to her probably right before Christmas and asked her, or the week after Christmas, I'm like, look, we got to put together a playlist of the best verses of all time.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
I like that.
Because like we put together of crew songs, like I want all the crew songs, everybody, or all the Rockefeller songs, and all the crew songs, whatever. Got a dog ass playlist with those. I'm like, no, we need to put together the coldest verses, like the best verses of all time, and put that shit in the playlist.
Are you saying just like the actual whole song with that verse, or literally splicing it to where it would be that particular verse?
So initially getting those songs to put them on there, but me, I can slice them bitches up, but those songs, because I want to share that playlist with everybody,
right?
And it's, you can't share my personal shit I cut up on my computer, but like Apple Music will allow you to share other ones. So like that's literally in the works.
Okay.
Oh, that's hard.
I was thinking about that shit like the last few days. I'm like, I did one before, but then I was like, what happens when more comes? I mean, obviously you would add to the playlist, but I was like, damn, do people have those type? Like if you go on the DSPs now, and you look and you'll see like, okay, well, most of the playlists, they just consist of the hits. And I know me being a lyricist, I don't really see those type of playlists.
When I think about like, there's sometimes I just get in the mood where I want to hear certain rappers just rap. Now, do I have a playlist just to bars? Nah, but that's a good ass idea though.
So you got to Apple Music, you can share these different. I put some. First off, I need to add playlist guide to one of my my.
Come on now, let's not jump out the window.
Yeah, I'm even kind of like, wait a minute now. Like, can it be gods?
I'm a playlist god, lowercase g. You know what I'm saying? Not the creator, but man, I really do spend a lot of time putting cold playlists together. Not just rap music either.
I've had many a days. Like I got a '90s playlist that's pretty fire. Like I got one separate for hip hop. I got one separate for R&B. I got a gospel one that's heat.
I tell you when I knew I was getting cold on the playlist. When I had strangers subscribing to the playlist. Okay. That's when I knew, you know what I'm saying? Because you can share them.
You a playlist
I'm
guy.
like, all right, I got strangers in here subscribing to my playlist because, you got a profile on Apple Music and shit like that. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I got like maybe one subscriber to each different one. That's really about it.
So being that you're a lyricist, like I know there's certain just MCs that you admire. Like when it's time for bars, like who are some of your go-to artists?
Easy. Thought, Royce, L's, Thought, Royce, L. I would say Munch, and like good classic M.
Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think
I'm not mad at that list, by the way.
The level of lyricism, even by those people that you named, and those are dope lyricists. Mm-hmm. Like I think the 2019 version themselves, and then like the 1997 through 2000 version, like the lyricism was just different. Yeah. Even from them.
It was. I think the difference between now and then is that back then it was fresh because like you said, like 97, maybe like 96 or whatever, lyricism was still like fresh in a way, like to really just bar some shit up. Like they was doing that in the 80s.
But it was so different.
Wasn't really like when cats like Rakim and Big Daddy Kane and them came along, Coogee Rap, they were like, oh shit, we ain't heard it like this before.
Yeah.
So that was like what, mid 80s when that happened. So you spill into the 90s, you still got some lyricists, whatever. So like I say, when cats like Redman and them came along, that was still like fresh. You know what I'm saying? Like it was still a thing.
And their styles were still fresh to us.
And the internet wasn't what it is now either. You know? So that's a huge difference too.
And I think because like back in the day, like I was into, so clearly cannabis was one of my faves. You know what I'm saying? And I'll take like a I mean, at that time, damn near, well, you know, Wu-Tang and all that shit,
We're
right?
going to stay on him for a minute, too, because that's one of my...
But like, so it was like simile, metaphor, boom, boom, boom. Like every time I say something, like the flow will be there, the cadence will be there, but he'll say some shit that you gotta damn near think about, like, oh, that's so fucking clever.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I haven't really heard that. Like Lupe is good for that. Early Lupe, or not early Lupe, but Lupe was good for saying, like, so Lupe would do where normally this would be a bar, the punchline, he'll have that shit like
keep going.
He'll just keep going. I'm like, wow.
Then
you got to really unpack.
Shit.
When I look for lyricism, shit like that, I don't get that in rap music today.
No.
Even from the greats, I get that shit in like battle rap.
Yeah,
it's not on beat, but they say like their wordplay and their schemes, and I'm like, dog, you just rapped a whole scheme, and it sound like you talking about something.
Yeah,
but you literally talking about a whole nother thing.
Slow it down.
Yeah, I just dissed you.
Yeah.
Like every word I just said literally has a double meaning, and like, no, that takes some fucking wow.
Is wizardry with words at that point. You know, when I think about like certain M's, like I feel what you're saying about like Lupe, like when he get into his rhyme scheme on certain shit. Like I listened to Hip Hop Saved My Life like a few days ago, and like the storytelling behind it is spectacular.
If you look at Dumb It Down on that same album, like that shit.
my iris and
like that shit.
And at the same time, he making fun of rappers.
That means I'm earless.
That mean like my windshield is minstrel, like because he just hit like it's so much stuff that go like, damn, that was a double entendre. Oh damn, that was a double.
I'm going to listen to that lyric.
But how it's set up, how the beat is, you think it's really like some very simplistic shit. But like if you fuck with bars and lyrics, like you understand how complex that shit is.
On Lupe's first album, the last song on there, What It Do, this nigga rap. I bought a CD. The CD came with a DVD. The DVD came with a CD, which was the making of the CD. Like he rapped a song essentially about a CD that was coming inside of a T. It sounds wild for me even trying to mention it, but like the level of thought process that went in there is like, I don't really hear that shit.
Shit,
now.
even the wasn't it Daydream? The joint wasn't
Jill Scott
about the robot? Yeah. Yep.
You know, another MC that I think of when I want to listen to bars, I'm a huge Jay Electronica fan. Even though Jay ain't gave us like, you know, a project, like I listen to Exhibit C. You know what I'm saying? That's
got to,
Now, like Jay, I love hearing that nigga rap.
Yeah.
But like when I think of that shit, like I don't think of bars. I think of really good rhyming and rapping.
Yeah.
And like and that's not even like a knock.
No, I hear what you're saying.
Because that's
like,
a lane in itself too.
Like he give us content, he give us cadence, and he give us information, and he put that shit together so cold. But when I think of, and this is my box of thinking, like I think of simile, metaphor, oh, that's a bar. Or a punchline setup, that's a bar. But now rap has kind of evolved.
Yeah.
And it's real technical. Now I can rap these 3 words, and then my next 6 words are going to be the opposite rhyming words. Like it's so technical. Like,
you know, when I look at like the technical ability and bars, like you mentioned, I think like a Royce.
Yeah, Royce.
Like his technical,
shit, man.
like first of all, Royce is one of the. When people do not mention Royce being like one of the best rappers breathing God's air right now, like I'm appalled by that shit.
It's always tough, honestly, because I got thought up there. Like these last stream of thought projects,
incredible. And then the Funk Flex freestyle on top of that.
I was here arguing with discussing with some guys who were recording on Sunday. They all like 23 years old, and it was like, and one of them said that Royce was better than M, and I agree. And they was like, how? I'm like how do you
how not
listen?
like he raps better than him.
Yeah.
Or like at the very least they rap the same. But like early M, but like current Eminem and current Royce.
I got Royce on that.
And look at like who washes Royce? Who embarrasses Royce? Who even hangs with him bar to bar on his own songs?
And when I knew, it's weird because when I saw the difference, and I knew, honestly, for me it was Lighters. I heard it on the joint with Bruno.
Yeah,
they were like But then I just kept listening to Royce. I said, yeah, he got him, man. He got him.
And that's not a knock to Eminem.
Because they both good as hell.
I've never heard Eminem outshine Royce on a track.
I haven't.
I've heard them be equal. I heard Royce get the better of him.
Even on the original Renegade, it was like
facts.
Shit.
Yeah.
The original Renegade bars and cadence is why we like Eminem on Dead Wrong.
Oh yeah,
the Biggie joint.
Yeah.
It's 7 different levels. Like that's Royce's flow.
Yeah.
That's his cadence. That's his flow.
And like when you got
the Bad Meets Evil,
man, that was
both versions.
And like when you like you said, it's not a knock to Royce or Eminem. When you had that type of competition, the iron just sharpens iron, and it brings out the best.
Yeah, exactly.
That's why I think that's you mentioned like Wu-Tang. I think that's like such a huge reason why Wu-Tang was so successful in the beginning is that they were all talented MCs. You throw them all in the room. Yeah, you throw them all in a room together over great RZA production, you're going to get classics.
Yeah.
Because you got each one kind of pushing.
Even and like no one Wu member actually sounds similar neither. And it's like, what, 9 of them?
Yeah. Even like if you look at like Jay and Big in the beginning, like you had each one of them, they're both pillars. And like Jay would hear something and that's going to push his pen. Yeah. Big going to hear something that's going to push his pen further.
Man, what's crazy though, I was listening to an interview today about when they did Brooklyn's Finest. And they both was in the studio with Clark Kent and whatever. And everybody was around. Biggs he was explaining the story and shit. And he said an engineer came and dropped a pad in the room and both of them was in seats and they both moved their seat back. And like Jay was like, there you go. And then Big was like, oh, there you go. And they both just start mumbling and shit. You know what I'm saying? Now, I always heard that Jay-Z don't write his rhyme and shit like that. I thought that was some newer shit.
Yeah,
I didn't know he wrote early on.
Yeah, but like they was both in there like, nah. And that's when they both found out like, oh, y'all, you don't write your shit either. I don't write that shit.
That's like a chess match. You know what I'm saying?
And they say Jay laid this shit. Big they said Big didn't really know how to count bars like that at first. And I guess this like in that beat, it's like a 5th bar. Yeah. It's kind of awkward or whatever. So he did like first 3 or 4, then he came back, a little bit later and did the other one. But like when them motherfuckers got in the same room together and shit, and they just had a mutual respect for each other. And like
shit like that is lightning in the bottle. Exactly, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like you only gonna capture that moment. Yeah. This is it.
Like Jay Electronica, that is like that nigga so cold. Cause like he'll rhyme a parable for you. Mm-hmm. Like I start off thinking like you having a conversation, like he talking
shit
something
off like that. Like,
and then when you finish, he think he just talking, but no, I'm coming back and rhyme them same words and still make it make sense inside. Like I don't think I don't know what to call it. When I think about it, I don't say that's bars, but that shit is special.
Yeah.
Like I don't know what to call it, but nigga, it's it.
It's certain rappers I listen to where I'll be like, man, I could rap every day, all day for the rest of my life, and I'll never be this good. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with that, but like I will never have that skill set.
I'm going with Thought and Royce, dog. I was like, man, like that shit is like.
So Tad, let me ask you, what are 3 songs that are one of the 3 most creative songs you ever heard from rappers?
Damn.
I know where you're going with this. I know who you're gonna talk about.
I'm gonna talk about.
No, I'm talking about people. You.
I got 3 different songs. From
I know, but
people.
There's one MC in particular I know you always kind of go back to with that question.
3 creative songs from 3 different.
Some rappers. Shit like, damn, how the fuck? Like, I couldn't do this. Like some shit I heard, like I couldn't do this. I don't know how you did this. That's fucking cold. I'll give you
Rewind.
Nas Rewind is one of them.
Rewind is there
for me. Because like I don't like that's dope. No one has even attempted to do that shit again.
Because you'll look foolish.
Yeah, but like that wasn't where I was going from my
it
first
might be
one.
9 songs. Not all 3 though. I would say Rewind. I Gave You Power.
That's a good one.
Because even though I know, because someone's done that before.
Everybody's done the whole.
Yeah, but that was my first time hearing that.
Have you ever heard? So Nas Rewind is on the list. Have you ever heard Lupe, some mixtape song called Switch Science Project?
No, I haven't.
You gotta listen to this.
And
shit.
I was thinking a Lupe song. I was thinking of verses though.
It's done on the Still Tipping beat, and like he rapped 3 different ways in 3 different tenses. So he rapped in a certain southern draw, and then he rapped like in 3 different joints. So he'd say switch, and he'll start rapping a different cadence or whatever, right? And then he'd say switch again, and then he started rapping positive shit, and then he started rapping negative shit, and then it kind of like speed up. So they say somebody saying switch, and like mid-word, he'll switch to the other flow, and like it's just it's some correct like who the fuck thinks of this type of shit? And he did it like as a project. This was actually the He Say She Say song is what came out of this, because he was like, okay, I want to rap. He said a whole bunch of positive things, right? And then he did a bunch of negative things on the same flow. And then when they say switch, he did that shit and flipped it with the same like who thinks of this type of shit? Like it's wild.
Well, I was trying to think of some cannabis songs. Like I know he got one. Weird.
And then that third one is Elzai.
That's what I was waiting on you to say.
And Rampage, aka Paige Kennedy, Rules of Rap. It's on the G Unit. It's on the G Unit Popping Them Things beat or something like that. It's on a G Unit beat though, but they told you how to rap, but they rapped how you supposed to rap.
Okay.
Like it's one of the coldest shit I've ever heard, because he told you how to put the patterns together, it's one of the coldest shits I fucking ever heard.
I know what fucking song you talking about where he's like,
get one too fast, your mind like.
But is it the one where Elzai saying some shit about the lake?
Yes.
Or whatever. Okay. Yeah. I can't think of the bar.
Yes.
But I know he said some shit about a lake, and I was like, oh shit, man, this dude.
I fill up a Great Lakes.
Yeah. Yes.
Like,
yeah. Okay.
Elzai one of the best rappers I've ever heard.
Because he got a few where it's like that. He got the Colors joint.
Whew. Actually,
the joint about the dreams.
The joint about the dreams. My man who does PDPI, he did that beat. That song actually has 2 beats in it. He did one of the joints on there and shit. Who does the Live from Detroit? Like who made that song? He actually produced on that album.
He has. What else the fuck else I got? Where it's like it's off the preface. I had that beat.
Where he take the first word.
Yeah. I'm still salty about that. I had that on a beat CD. Let me get this. Nah, L is using that for us. I was supposed to be on Slum album. They never used it. So I was like, well, fuck it. I'm about to write. And then I heard that. I said, I'm going to leave it alone, because I wouldn't have did that.
Like,
what he did to it.
These niggas are wizards with that shit. Like,
yeah,
I'm never going to rap that good.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm never gonna.
That's
rap
why I say you
good.
listen to certain shit and
I'm like, can I rap with them? Yes. Could I go like give you some extreme bars? But what they do, that's some different shit. Like your brain wired
Jedi level.
Really,
you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Like it's this on another plane. Like when I listened to that Black Thought freestyle last year for Funk, I was good on freestyles for the rest of the year.
It's like if you got Dave Chappelle and you got Eddie Murphy. You got Richard Pryor, and then you got Cedric Entertainer walking the room. Cedric Entertainer gonna be funny as hell.
Yeah.
He not Richard Pryor.
No.
You know what I'm saying? So
you
like,
gonna laugh at some shit.
L and them, they'll do their thing. I'm gonna get on that bitch and do my Cedric the Entertainer. But like, it's just like the nigga.
And I can still walk away and feel satisfied.
Yeah. Facts. I'm gonna bring it. I'm gonna hold my own. I mean,
like Cedric will probably have like some shit that's funny. You gonna repeat it to somebody, but like Dave and others, they got shit that's just timeless. Like. When you're gonna be talking, you're gonna use it as a reference in a lot of shit. Like to this day, we still use a bunch of Chappelle Show references. Period. You know
P on you is relevant all over again.
Resurfaced. Like they actually got an interview with Neil, my man's that did the show with him talking about this shit. Like Kells really wanted to fight. Like you know what I'm saying? That's crazy.
Yeah,
that shit is.
And Dave
wild.
had his goons negotiate what it's not gonna be.
Had a goon off.
That's some timeless shit.
Look, man, I seen Dave Chappelle like perform live probably about 1.5 years ago, and I mean, he said some shit I've never heard him say again. You know, we couldn't have our cell phones. Like, you just had to enjoy the moment.
I've seen him perform at least 3 times. I try to get him every time he comes here, man.
He's a fucking incredible.
He's my favorite comedian. My personal favorite comedian of all time.
It's just natural. I think people with that type, like how we saying with the MCs or whatever, like of that just wizardry. I think it's like. you don't even have to. They don't try that hard. I think it's just there. Like they just was like, let me just go ahead. And
we all got our gifts and
shit.
talents, though. You know what I'm saying? And it shouldn't be a forced thing.
It's like they just. It's like, well, fuck it. Let me just. Even though like, I know with Elzai, like he's gonna take his time. Like so, I've reached out one time, maybe one or two times to Elzai for a feature. And I was like, you know what? I'm not going to do it because I know like he's going to take a long, long time. But I know what's going to come from that though too.
That was the reason I have an iPhone.
And I think it might be. We got to get into that story in a minute. But
I've never heard that before.
It's the same with Royce. Like me and DDT was talking about. He's like, yo, like Royce is a machine. Like he's in there. Like when I say he's an MC, like Royce is in there. Like just in his brain. I was like, yo, that's a different level. Like, I'm going to get distracted. It's going to be some shit that's going to throw me off. So,
you know, I've had the opportunity to witness kind of Royce's process on one or two occasions. My homeboy used to be a writer for Bad Boy, and when Diddy was working on the Dirty Money soundtrack and Royce had wrote the first single, that Come See Me, and just like the mythology behind it, like when my homeboy was working directly with Diddy to produce the project, and like he sent verses back like multiple times, but Royce can't. Like every single time he returned, and I was like, "What? How are you rejecting these verses like these?" Like, and Royce was demoing everything. I was like, "This shit is fucking incredible. Like, how are you rejecting this shit?" He's like, "No, I know I can get better from him. I know you can do better." I'm like, how do you tell one of the greatest?
Yeah.
But I mean, Puffy got that. He worked with Big. Like, you would have to trust that his ear knows something that mine just doesn't.
Like, what you gonna say? Like, I ain't seen this shit else. Like, you don't know what you're talking about. Like, you know.
And like when you know what type of person you got, when you give some fire, and if you tell that person, "Oh, that's not hot enough,"
that does something to your ego. It's got to.
The thing that comes next
like, all right,
has to be God level.
Why he did it?
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
It got to be God level next. Cause like, nigga, what? It's not good enough. All right, check this out.
How did Elzai convince you to want an iPhone?
So look, we went to an in-store. Me and my man Pete, we went to an in-store at Burn Rubber. Elzai was up there and shit. And everybody taking pictures and shit like that. And then somebody brung out a fucking iPhone and took the picture. And like the whole screen was like the camera. And it was the crispiest shit I've ever seen at the time.
Okay.
Now when you go back and look at an old ass iPhone 3G, them pictures grainy as fuck. But you know what I'm saying?
Look like an Android.
Like I literally left that spot like I have to have that picture, dog. Like I have to have that phone because that shit looked so fucking great. And I just remember looking at the back of the phone and it was Elzai face on that bitch. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, first off, send me that picture because it was a picture of me, Pete, and Elzai. But like that, I'm like, I got to get this fucking phone.
I got to get him up here. It can't be that difficult. I'm sure.
Hey man, after the year that we had last year, anybody is accessible.
Period.
And you can get anybody. If you got the time, we can make it happen.
Elzai, come on LABL Podcast. We're going to chop it up.
Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah.
And anybody that know Elzai, tell him I said that. I know him.
He touchable.
I know Elzai, but I'm just saying anybody else that know him, get him up here. Yeah, man. So just before we close out, just a couple things I wanted to talk about. One mainly being how we spoke about cannabis earlier.
Yeah.
And I was thinking about this. My cousin sent me something on Instagram where it was a link to Cannabis's page. I'm like, Cannabis is on Instagram?
Yeah.
Under the name Cannabis Verified.
Yeah.
And I'm like, man, let me see if Cannabis still got it. The thing is, he does. However, I don't know what it is with his voice now.
Yeah. It's not there now.
I don't know why he's doing that. I wish he changed that shit because I think he's forcing it. However,
something happened mentally with Cam.
Wasn't he in the army for a second?
Like he never was the same after he came back.
Yeah. Yep. He's like
his literal everything changed with his voice.
I'm like, yo, it's like you hear him in there. It's like it's almost like a rap sunken place. Like know he's good.
Hey man, that same thing kind of happened to me with Siegel. Like, I love Benny Siegel, but like after he got shot,
it ain't the same.
Like it doesn't have that same bass, that same dexterity.
Yeah.
Like it's just not. It's not there no more.
The Meek diss was hard, but it just was like, if you would have.
He sounded like old man Siegel.
Did you tag me in that, or did you send me that?
I did. I said, anybody seen this shit? Like I really was going down a rabbit hole. Like, listen, I said, it's got to be something on here.
I come across a Cannabis official Twitter or Instagram every once in a while and shit. And that should just be like, dog, this not.
I was kind of wounded. And then he showed like he got like clips of like
Flashes.
older shit that he showed like this was that guy. And I started looking like, yo, he was.
I put a playlist together from Canada like 2 weeks ago.
I was like, he was. I started thinking about like he came in with Nori.
But I mean, look at it. It's a syndrome I call like Al Bundy. Like when niggas is living off of the fame of my 5 touchdown game. Like we love cannabis because of what he did. But you got to look at it like that's 20 plus years ago. The cannabis that you all love and enjoy is a career that's 20 plus years old. The Siegel that I loved and enjoyed is damn near 20 years ago. Like it's not that no more.
But look, I mean, real life, the average age of a rapper is only popular for about 5 years.
Yeah.
And that's a good one. Like you got a good run. So from like
You had an excellent run if you make it 5 years.
From 97 to 2001, 2002, like fam, that's a good run.
01. It really was done.
After Mike Club.
Yeah, I was about to say like around that time, like literally after that, because that's when the whole M shit came about and he was going at it with M and it was like done, over and done. Damn, man, that kind of hurt, man. He had a that was like
it's just the reality of it.
You know what I'm saying? That made me want to. You know what I'm saying?
Find me somebody who was ill as him. Like just like, and nobody wanted to touch him.
Who had a run like that? Nobody.
And what's crazy is like anybody who you think is your favorite rapper did not want to put on the track with that man.
They gonna bring him up like Biss, man. Even while Clef was talking about it, he had a good point where he was like, cannabis was ahead of his time to the point where he was talking about this whole internet shit before it even became a thing.
I tell you, man, what's so
Typing
wild?
raps and shit on the computer and and everything, battling in forums.
I be in my conspiracy bag and I be in the deep parts of the internet sometimes. When I be finding shit that he talked about in his first album, I'm like, MJ12 is not majestic. When I came across a program on television talking about the Majestic 12 and the MJ12, I'm like, dog, I didn't know half of this shit was real.
When you look at like when you look at the internet though, like even though the internet has been around say like 20, 25 years, the potential of it, I mean, maybe a little bit longer, but the potential of it is still so raw and untapped. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? If you look at yourself at 25, you're not the man that you are today in your 30s. Right. Like, and that's the same thing we're looking at with the internet. Like, it's still very young. And the things that we've seen thus far are just scratching the surface of what it's going to be able to give us.
Shit is actually scary when I think about it.
I mean, look at it. We grew up in a generation. You remember before the internet. You know what I'm saying?
What it is. That's what's scary about it. You're like just seeing it is so damn brand new.
But you got kids. I got kids. Like they've never grown up without high speed internet. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's their life.
Yep.
So I mean, we've only scratched the surface, and even when it comes to like music and how it's marketed, how it's going out to the public, we haven't seen its reach its zenith yet because the internet is still so new.
Oh, man. I almost forgot to go ahead, say what you was gonna say.
I was watching this interview with Daylight, which is an amazing rapper, by the way.
Yeah.
This nigga said they tricked us into paying $10 a month for music for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
Like when you think about it, like it seemed like a good idea. Like, no, you have been tricked to pay $10 a month for music for the rest of your life.
And you don't own it.
Yeah.
You don't own it. You leasing it. You know what I'm saying? So it's
a month to month lease at that.
You leasing it.
Forever. Pay me $10 a month.
And we've accepted. It's going to be like Netflix.
And
like,
they told you that the other way wasn't working. So do it this way. And we've like.
And the artists get paid less.
Yeah, they bought the masses in.
Yep.
Like it's easier for me to just to pay $10 a month, listen to whatever the fuck I want to, as much as I want to, as opposed to like they took that experience where like when you used to buy a CD and you opened it and the packaging, like it was something tangible.
Man. I'm going back to vinyl, dog.
Vinyl, CDs, and that's all I heard. SJ and AJ talking about it, how it's making a comeback. Just the vinyls, because who was on here? Jay Fears, and she was talking about the flash drives and everything. I was like, I just was in the whip now and put a flash drive, and I said, you know what?
I just seen my homegirl Chris. I was talking about. She got the vinyl of Illmatic.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Illmatic.
Yeah.
So she got the vinyl of Illmatic. That's a credible album, dog.
Hey man, just a few weeks ago when we had Violent Giant in here and they gave us CDs,
It's an
like the experience
experience,
of putting this CD quality
Yeah.
is something.
I listened to it this morning. Listen to the CD this morning. I left my phone at the crib. So,
in my
and I
whip-
had the CD in the joint. So.
In the whip that I got now, my brother was like, first thing he said, he saw some CDs in there. He said, "Oh, you ain't gonna need them. You just gonna hook up the." I said, "Nah, I need.
You just
them."
need that
I still-
sound.
First off, it was some of my shit, so I was like, I know I can go to the platforms, but it's like it's nothing like just cracking it, put in there. The sound is completely different.
CD
like
quality.
I know the sound. Like it's a huge difference. Like that quality off the stream, that shit is cheap, man. Super cheap.
But they'll make you pay more
Yeah.
for
You
to
paying
get
more
lost,
for it.
if to get lossless audio, then you're gonna have to pay the $20
Yeah.
a month. If I want it in a
Yep.
AAC format or whatever,
Now you
like-
paying even more.
Yeah, so
Yep. Yeah, man. That shit
they
is crazy.
brainwashed us. Daylight was right. They brainwashed
It's so
us.
convenient, but it's like the experience of it is
It's
cheapened.
cheapened.
think about if you was doing this shit since Thriller came out. You didn't pay $10 a month every fucking
Mm-hmm.
month since Thriller.
You paid a lot of fucking money for
That's
music.
ridiculous.
That's
That's a
wild.
You
Older
paid a
head.
lot of fucking money for music.
Older is probably looking like, got y'all niggas.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I don't know, dog.
That's bugged out. When you really, really look at it, that shit is bugged the fuck
Made me
out.
want to go back to bootlegging.
It
And
made shit difficult, dog. It's hard to find shit on the internet like that.
like, is that still a thing though? Like bootlegging?
It's
Like,
not
you can't,
really.
What can you really bootleg?
Everything
I
is-
ruined so many computers just bootlegging
you
shit.
can't, everything is DMR.
That shit was an era.
DRM. So like they can pull that shit off the internet anytime they want to,
Yeah.
like immediately. Like it's extremely hard. Well, I won't say extremely hard.
It's just not as easy as it used to be.
It's difficult
I
for you to
bootlegged some
find.
classic albums.
And all you had to do was type that shit in the Google search bar, and it would take you to the depths of the internet.
Yeah.
Now,
You
I'm savvy out there, so I know what. I'm like, I can look at it like, no, this not gonna be it. But not everybody. You gonna fuck around and fuck your shit up.
Oh,
Yeah.
nigga, I probably ruined like 4 good computers.
Hit the wrong link if you want to.
Getting computer STDs from Kazaa, LimeWire.
Now you fuck around, lose your identity and your credit card, and they be like,
Yeah.
it's too-
All
I
them
ain't about
pop ups and shit.
trying to get an album and you
Keep
lose your
Xing them
life
out.
savings and shit.
They didn't found me. Fuck.
right.
That shit was an era though, just bootlegging music.
Hey man, the
I've got
last
many
thing I
classic
think
albums.
I bootlegged confidently was Good Kid, Mad City.
Well, I listened. I bootlegged Kanye last album. I wasn't gonna give him no streams. I got that shit.
Oh,
off
yeah,
the
because
internet.
you sent me
Yeah.
But I mean, how hard was it to find?
Well, it takes. Well, I follow the correct people on Twitter. So some people will drop links and shit. You know what I'm saying? So they'll drop links to like their Dropbox. So that's not like a site
Yeah.
where you can go find shit. You just gotta be in the know. You can find anything on Twitter, by the way.
I didn't plan on bootlegging 444.
I
But
did
I've had-
too.
I've had people send me the links the day that it dropped. Like, yo,
Yeah, I definitely
check it
did.
out.
Now I got. I mean, that was before I had Tidal,
yeah,
but I don't know why. I pay for Tidal and Apple Music.
They double dipping.
Yeah.
you gonna
That's
think
called
about
double
it.
penetration.
You gonna listen back and think about it. Like, you know what? We
And
do
Apple
pay
Music
this
sounds
much
better
for-
than Tidal, by the way.
Yeah.
Like it literally sounds better because I'm not paying for the
Yeah.
$20 version of Tidal.
So you saying the $9.99 version for Apple Music sounds better than the
$9.99
version for Tidal?
Absolutely. It
Okay.
literally sounds. It's literally loud.
But Apple don't make you pay the extra just to get the. So it's just. Oh,
It's just one price.
shit, I might go over to Apple.
Until next year. Then because just how
figure something
Netflix
out.
is doing. Netflix used to be what, $8 a month?
They getting over. it.
Yeah.
That shit is.
It used to
wild.
be cut the cord
And they can
and
pay for these all them extra emails, all them extra users you got.
yeah.
to lease music. Y'all, that shit is wild. We leasing fucking music.
Hey man, the game is changing.
That shit is crazy.
And you look at it like this: 10 years from now, you got a young daughter. When she start listening to music and paying for what she like to hear, 10 years from now, the game will then flip so many more times.
So what if they do some shit like how you lease a car? Like, okay, you lease this many years or whatever, and now you had an option to buy. So you leasing all this music that you paying $9.99 a month, and they say, all right, now look, this is the price that you get to pay to like own all this shit that you've been listening to, all those playlists that you've created, all that. You get to own all this for this amount.
To a certain extent, that's how it was in on the iTunes store, which the iTunes store is still there. But like, so you buy the singles for like 99 cents. Like if you buy like enough for the singles, it'll be like a complete my album button. Like where you can just get the rest of the album. Because like if it's 20 songs on an album, you're not about to buy each individual one for 99 cents because you're gonna end up paying more
Right.
whatever. So they like a complete my album. Like, look, for extra $6, would you just take the whole fucking album?
So what is that shit that was happening when people would say, hey, I'm streaming the music and you got the option to download. They download the music, but then something happens where the music is no longer there that they downloaded.
If the person removes their stuff from their service, it'll be...
Because I've heard that happen with like a Travis Scott album,
Yeah.
a couple other albums. I'm like, yo, if you downloaded it though, how is it not there anymore?
Because you connect to the internet.
That shit is bogus.
Now, if your phone don't have an internet connection, it's going to stay on your phone until you get an internet
Because I know you got
connection.
that option was like stream or play offline or some shit like that.
But like, it's songs that they get pulled. If it's not on the service no more, it's
They
gonna be
fucking getting
removed.
over. I'm going through this one shit I seen called TunePort where you could just put that shit up and sell your music and people can actually buy that shit. Like fuck.
That's what Chance say.
And Bandcamp.
Chance said he uploaded the color. I mean, his albums through TuneCore.
Okay. No. He said TuneCore. It's one called TunePort.
Oh, I
where it's
got
not
you.
even no streaming shit. You get to put it up there and like people on your own website, like, and they can go there and like actually buy your shit and actually have it. Like it's.
And that's
it's
what I'm saying.
tangible.
Like the internet is still so rogue. It's still the
Yeah.
wild, wild west.
I'm waiting for somebody to say, forget the streaming sites. Just download my app. And my app, this app is called the My Next Album app. And when you download this app, they go all my songs, and every time I put a video on there, it's gonna be there. Just download the app.
Reverb Nation has some shit like that, but then I don't know what happened.
Like
I
if
think
Beyonce, like
In some way, you probably cutting out the streaming services or the label. But I mean, if you're a big enough independent artist, if Beyonce just went label-less and was like, look, my next album is coming out on the Beyonce app and I'm just going to drop it, like the shit would go crazy.
So Apple-
it would break the fuck.
If
Your
Beyonce-
iPhone would be a piece of shit because it would
Beyonce
break.
do that.
So
it's
Apple
going to be
is,
a Prince situation, a Prince or a Michael situation.
so
the
it's
day that she do that.
it's a 70-30 split with apps in the App Store. So
Yeah.
you got a 99-cent app, you get 70 cent, Apple get 30 cent. Like that's a better split than you gonna get on your album. Download the fucking app.
They'd be like, all right, Beyonce, it was cool when you did the surprise albums, when y'all had this exclusive only on title shit, but this shit you doing here, you taking it too far. Like this whole label this shit.
Maybe we should do that.
This,
Maybe we should create an app for the podcast.
let's just stop right there.
There you go.
Let's just start right there. Because if somebody take that shit, you're going to be hotter than fish grease.
I did go.
Yeah. Just stop right there.
Yeah, man, that shit is crazy. But since you mentioned that, speak on like the future, because we talked about it earlier a little bit. That's a good transition, actually. Just the future of Detroit podcasting before we close it out.
I like how things are going with some of the podcasts in here in the city. I do want us to take our craft seriously and the recording of it seriously and the quality of it seriously. I like the urban podcast.
Yeah.
I like urban podcasts.
Is that going on this year? Y'all doing the event?
Yeah, Urban Podcast Month is in May.
Yeah, that. You know what I'm thinking about?
Yeah.
The
other one. Somebody
The first
actually
one
asked me
happening.
about that too. But Urban Podcast Month is going to be in May. But like I listen to a lot of different podcasts from the culture, outside the culture, tech podcasts, different conversations, Malcolm Gladwell's podcast. I listen to a bunch of stuff and I hear the quality of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I want our urban podcast to sound that way too.
Yeah.
Keep your cultural and everything, but it can still be a production.
That quality is what sells it.
And like we just got to step on which is why, I mean, this is certain folks I'm trying to work with to just step everybody quality up, and this fire that's coming out of Shoptalk Podcast Studios, man. 2019 is, whew.
Yeah, man.
It's a lot of it's a lot of good content out here. Like I
Yeah.
literally hear some people podcast, and you don't have to do a weekly show, the trending topic show. Like you can have really good content without.
You just got to train your audience to what you're going to put out there. For me, I think where podcasts are still untapped,
Right.
and where it can still grow is monetizing.
And we heard
it.
Pete saying, he said, I don't know where the whole idea came about having to do it weekly. Like, you
Yeah.
know what I mean? Or just, I have to come out, you know what I'm saying? Like, it could be a season of something, or it could be like just a short series or
The
whatever.
thing
or
about it is
storytelling.
it's
you
still
know?
so new. It can be whatever you
Yeah,
want it to be.
Exactly.
And I think that's where it still has room to grow and breathe. And like I said, monetizing it.
Yeah.
I don't think people have really scratched the surface on the potential that's there, especially if you are, you got a product that you're passionate about and you want to advertise. this is a unique advertising opportunity where like, you know, you advertise on the radio, it may play 3 times in a week at these specific times.
And you got to be in the car listening at that particular time. And
you advertise on a podcast, like it's out there damn near forever.
It is out there forever.
Yeah, exactly.
And you have a more cerebral listener. It takes a very cerebral person to listen to audio for an hour, hour and a half with no visual stimulation. So you got somebody who's already listening, who's invested in the person talking, and that product needs to match with y'all brand. Like, why wouldn't I?
Because podcasts, you know, radio stations are music driven. But I mean, you have certain DJs, hosts, you know, personalities that people tune into.
Right.
Podcasts is all personality driven, just period. If people don't want to listen to you, they have other options. Like there's thousands of podcasts out there. And I think that's also something that makes it unique because the people that tune in and listen to us, it started off as friends and family. But as the podcast grew, I know it's strange. You know, it's a ton of strangers, people in other countries that we ain't never touched.
That'd be the illest
that's listening
shit. You
to
just
us.
Looking like I go back to old episodes and like, what was they listening? Like, damn, that's the fuck.
You know, some of our oldest episodes that were really raw are still some of our highest listened to episodes, and we get those streams from all across the country, all across the world, really. So I mean, I just think like podcasts is still so untapped. There's so much there left to grow and develop that, you know, like Jay said, good content, good audio quality, and continue to work on yourself as a personality, because over the last 2.5, almost 3 years, we've grown so much, you know, that, you know, even we still have, I don't think even we as Shop Talk have reached our full potential.
Nope.
That's also why I think more artists need to do it, because for me personally, I said, okay, well, they know I can rap, but at the same time, I know off this mic, it's shit that I can talk about, and I know I got a personality that is separate from rap. You know what I'm saying? Let me just spin, okay, you know I can spit or whatever. I rapped about some shit that I experienced, but at the same time, what else am I talking about? Well, boom, there's the podcast. Now, let me tap into the minds of other creative people, and we can talk about shit that we can relate to.
And man, when you think about, I treat podcasts like rap in the early 90s and 2000s, where like, if you got business ventures outside of podcasting, the more popular your podcast is, the more that's going to help you other. When people are invested in you, like, why you think people listen to Kanye albums? It's not because you're the greatest rapper in the world. Like, they are invested in your story.
Exactly.
I want to hear what Kanye says next. I want to hear what Kendrick is about to say next. I want to hear what J. Cole is about to say next. Well, maybe I want to hear what Nametag about to say next. You know what I mean? Like if I hear his opinion on different things on this platform, and he about to have a drop a CD, but what he about to talk about? I already know what kind of shit he be on. Let me take a listen. I'll give you the opportunity. Now, if I don't like it, I don't like it. But I'm gonna give you the opportunity because I'm invested in you already.
Brand. Exactly. Most of the time, like people, a lot of times, I don't want to say it's so flat surface, but a lot of times people are investing in what you got going on because they want to be you. You know what I'm saying? Or they want to be involved with what you have going on. People want to feel like they're a part of something.
Also, like, I mean, we doing this for free. They want to support you because they don't have to pay for a podcast app. So if you want to support, hey, buy my merch. You know what I'm saying? Or
come out to my event.
Come out to my event. That's how you show support. Or just share this with someone or whatnot. If you like this episode, share it with somebody.
And it's crazy.
That ain't even hard.
And it's crazy like how the support is, especially for us, really organic. It's not like me or Jay got like 10, 20,000 followers on Instagram or Twitter. You know, I'm barely cracking 1,000. But like when we show up somewhere or we do an event, like people will come out and genuinely like support that shit. And it's amazing and it's humbling because you just never know.
Two West Side niggas.
Yeah. I mean, shit. Literally, 2 West Side niggas talking shit is what we do every week in, week out. And people support that shit organically.
And I be locked Saturdays.
I mean, and we appreciate it. Man. We appreciate it.
Even though like Button, you know, he there, but he posting early, so you know.
We're gonna set up a fight with Button. We're gonna set up a cage fight. Me and Jay, Rory, and Button.
But it's more content, so that's cool.
I'm a fan. You know what I'm saying? The show. I just can't listen to that shit, dog.
No more.
Not that I can't. I don't ever finish any of the episodes.
Oh yeah.
It's too much.
Be super long too. Like just
that's 6 hours. 6 hours of content a week.
Yeah,
I don't got that. I don't got that much time.
Yeah,
and I'm not gonna. Then I don't got that
I'm
much
breaking
time.
it up now. Like I like, damn, I gotta
So
break
now
this
you
shit
listening
up.
to him every single
You know
day,
what I'm saying? Like,
which helps their numbers. But like now you listen
and
to
he
it
got
every
State of
day.
the Culture. I'm like, oh, I see what he
I
did.
ain't watched that shit since the second episode.
I'm like, I see what he did.
And man, one thing I can say, I appreciate how Joe continues to reinvent himself, and he has learned how to use the internet to monetize whatever
Been doing
he's
it for
in.
a long time.
Yeah.
When the labels wouldn't drop them, it was mood music and all the mixtapes.
If anybody can dispute what Big Soulja and Big Draco was talking about today, he the reason that rappers got social media, and he the reason on YouTube.
Joe Budden TV.
Joe Budden was on TV before YouTube, fam.
I remember when he created Slaughterhouse, when they came together on Joe Budden TV. I just used to watch with Tahiri.
Yeah.
I remember him on Joe Budden TV before him and Royce
got cool.
They got cool when it was a budding beef, eating a slice of pizza, white t-shirt, red hat, talking about, you know what I'm saying? Like I remember all this shit. Like I've been,
because the internet is like I said, it's still
He got
grown.
on
It's
it
still
early.
prehistoric.
That actually was crazy about that. Like Joe early on, when the labels wasn't fucking with him, and he did the
shit, he went on Hot 97. It was a
it
radio
like?
host.
Yeah, early on they told him don't do it. They'd rather hear you rap. See, but
Sometimes you just got to step out there and follow your gut feeling.
he was one of the first to actually, because I was at the time I was trying to shop shit to labels. Now I forget what year. It might have been like 08, maybe 09. And I saw that he was signed to like some digital label. I'm like, digital
Algamon
label,
Digital?
a Mogler,
Yeah.
something like that. I'm like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, well, I'm about to shop to them. And I'm looking like he was the only like popular artist that I seen
he
on
blew
there.
them up.
You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what the fuck is that? I'm like, a digital label. I said, so that must mean they ain't doing physical. They ain't
Saving
doing
money.
I said, oh, that's easy. Well, let me just go ahead and ship to them and see it. But then after that, that's when I got hip to the whole, you could just upload your music to these platforms that get you on the DSPs.
And man, when
or
you are
whatever.
creative, you find ways to create. And you
Yep.
find different outlets for it, just plain and simple.
Yeah, man.
Like when you talk about the transition from rap to podcasting, we're all creatives at heart.
Yep.
We found a different outlet
Exactly.
to continue to create.
Exactly.
It doesn't block off one lane. It doesn't kill the lyricism or whatever else you got going on.
Yeah.
But you just know you just can't sit still with
Yeah,
it.
man. I got a couple good podcast ideas, actually. I'm off air. Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing on there because
Yeah,
niggas are
yeah.
still.
Facts.
Niggas are still.
It's bugs in this microphone. There's bugs in here, apparently.
Yeah, man. That shit is crazy.
Fucking
Before we get up out of here, man, drop y'all socials, man.
It's Dame Going Wild on everything that matters. It's DameGonWild on everything that matters. Twitter, Instagram, rarely on Snap, but it's there.
I'm Jay Johnson 313 on Instagram, on Twitter. More importantly, follow Shop Talk Podcast on IG and Shoptalk Podcast Studio. You know, when you see the blue and the black, you know where you at. Shoptalk Podcast Studio.
Yes, sir. And I'm Nametag. Again, that's NametagAlexander.com, leadingbylegendary.net. Just search Nametag Alexander on all the streaming platforms, period. Leadingbylegendary.net. Once again, peace. We out.